Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So in this video I want to go over the 5 games that I'm looking forward to that were shown at the PlayStation Showcase a week ago. So the first one on this video I want to call out is Call of Duty, no pun intended, but you know, if you want to think it's a pun, go ahead. Now I gotta say, when I play Call of Duty, my favorites are Call of Duty World at War, Black Ops 1, 2, the Modern Warfare trilogy. But then after that, the games, the campaigns weren't as good. I loved the multiplayer, and I loved zombies, you know, and just all that stuff. But the campaigns, after Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, weren't really good. Like, Black Ops 3, I had no idea what the hell was going on. I had to actually watch a YouTube video to figure out what was happening. And then Black Ops 4 didn't really have a campaign. I mean, you could learn about the story through audio files and all that, but you didn't really get a campaign. Now, I really hope that this game gives us a proper campaign, and from what I've actually seen, heard, and read, that's the case. Now, there are some things I don't like about this new game, but I'll go over the stuff I really like before I get to the negative. So first off, I'm glad they're not doing a futuristic setting. I'm glad that we have the past again, because when I was playing Black Ops 2, I remember I really enjoyed the missions with Woods and Mason, not just because they were the characters from the first game, but because the main game with David Mason, the futuristic stuff, I don't know, it just felt a little ridiculous to me, but it's still a great game. I still enjoyed that. I especially loved the choices that the game let you do. It wasn't a full-blown RPG, but I did like how there were only a few choices that heavily impact the game. Another thing I do like is the character customization. So, I'm pretty sure any of you COD fans would know this, but this game will let you create your own character, but it's really a cosmetic effect, that's all. But since your character doesn't talk, you know, because with these games, with these COD games, take Far Cry 5, for example, and the one after it, New Dawn, the people I know Ubisoft does not do the Call of Duty series, but I want to give this as an example. The reason that the characters you create are mute is because they want you to feel that you're the character, you know, rather than give the character a voice and personality and then have you doing stuff like side missions and all stuff that doesn't fit the character's personality. So that makes sense, but I've also heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard there are dialogue options, so you're something along Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, where you choose an option, and then your character, you don't say it, but Woods and Mason, Adler and Hudson, they know what you've said. But even though those don't matter, even though it's just cosmetic, one of the things that I do like is the psychological profile. So the way the game works with the psychological profile is that you can choose certain traits that will help you in the game. Well, perks, like if you remember zombies, for example. So one of them is called Professional, which gives you full movement speed in ADS, which is aim down sights. But then there's another one called Paranoid, which boosts your aim down sight speed. There's also Violent Tendencies, which ups your bullet damage, you know, letting you deal more damage. Lone Wolf, which lets you sprint longer. And there are actually 15 options to choose from. And while the game has one ending, you can slightly change the ending. It's still the one ending, but with different variations on how to get to that ending, if that makes any sense. One of the good things, I also like, which is also bad, which I'll explain why, is the voice actors. Now, for me, I love Hudson in Black Ops 1. I liked his voice, I think he was a cool character. Mr. Shades, Ice Cube, which is what they call him, and funny enough, I'm pretty sure it's Ice Cube that voices Bowman in Black Ops 1. But anyway, Michael Keaton voiced him in Black Ops 2, and I didn't like the voice. I felt it was too light for Hudson's character, but the voice actor for Hudson in this, I do enjoy. It sounds pretty cool. So, and speaking of the voice actors, this is where it gets bad. Sam Worthington and James C. Burns, the voice actors for Alex Mason and Frank Woods, are not reprising their roles. And what's disappointing is James C. Burns, the voice actor for Woods, he does this thing called Sarge's Corner, which it's a live stream where he talks to the fans, he answers questions, and he actually said that he was disappointed that he couldn't play Frank Woods again. And he actually says in his own words in one of the videos that he would have crushed the role. And to make matters worse, he even goes over some of the lines and the way Woods acts, and he says that's not how Woods would act or what he would do. One of the things is in the trailer where Woods goes, "Let's go find this shithead." James says Woods would never say that. He would say, "Let's go find this piece of shit," or "Let's go find this asshole." Because he's more sophisticated than that, he uses like a different type of swearing, you know, like a more elegant way, you know, not like slang. And he also did another thing when he said when Woods was talking to Reagan, Woods wouldn't have been as polite. He would have spoken out, and he wouldn't have been calling Reagan president. He would have called him Reagan. And when he was talking, he'd go, "Listen here, Reagan," or "Look here, Reagan." So it's actually pretty disappointing that they didn't get James to play Woods again. But what's great is there's a petition going out. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So if you want to sign it, so we can get Activision or Treyarch or whoever's doing this, whoever's in charge of the characters and the voice actors and that, if we can get them to get James to be Woods again, that'd be amazing. And speaking of Woods, I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard the new voice actor was Pedro Pascal, one of the guys from the Mandalorian series, or Pascal Pedro. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but I'm pretty. I know the name, but I don't know which way is it, if it's Pedro first or Pascal first. And I actually, the gameplay does look pretty good. I do love the graphics. I really want to play this game. I do want to get into it. But I guess I'm just worried that the story, you know, might suffer. Like, I don't want to think that, because there have been some articles, people saying, this game seems unnecessary, there's no point in having it, and I hope that's not true. I hope this game really is good, and it's going to be tough for me to watch Woods and Mason because of the different voice actors. It's going to be tough, but, you know, as long as the story's good, I'll manage, I'll be able to get through it. So the next one on this list is Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. Well, I guess it's just Hogwarts Legacy, not Harry Potter. But, you know, it's set in the Harry Potter universe, or the Pottermore verse, you know. Now, one of the things, like, I have no idea, like, what's happening, but there are a lot of people angry with J.K. Rowling about something, and they're saying she's transphobic with a comment she made. I have no idea what that comment is, or if it was transphobic or not, because I'm not really getting into that. I'm just here to talk about the game. Now, I remember when I first saw the leaked video a while ago, like a year ago I believe it was, and apparently in it, you are a late entry to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You're a 5th year, and you possess this ancient power that no one else does. It's kind of like Voldemort with Parseltongue, where only people who are descendants of Salazar Slytherin can use Parseltongue, with Harry being the exception because a part of Voldemort's soul lived inside him. So with this game, like, this is one I'm going to be replaying the most, because I plan to play as Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. And the fact that you can become a good or evil wizard is pretty cool. Now, one of the things I really hope like they do with this game is you can actually choose to be a Muggle-born, half-blood, or a pure-blood. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, it means Muggles are basically students that go to Hogwarts but have no magical parents. Their parents are Muggles, and Muggles are people who don't possess magic, but you can have Muggles that possess magic. The next one is a half-breed, or half-blood, which is a better term, which is a person that has a Muggle and a magical parent. And purebloods are people that have two magical parents. So, I really hope that when you choose what house you're in, and what you choose, like, what blood you are, determines how people react to you. Like, for example, Slytherin's all about pure blood, so what happens if I choose to be in Slytherin, but I'm a Muggle? So, I can imagine a lot of people in Slytherin wouldn't like my character. It'd be like, yeah, Salazar, because Salazar Slytherin, he wanted only magical people. Salazar Slytherin was one of the four founders of Hogwarts. He only wanted to let people, like, of magical families in the Hogwarts, and Godric Gryffindor, I believe, dueled Salazar. Salazar lost, and he ended up leaving. And Salazar Slytherin was also the one to leave the Basilisk, to create the Chamber of Secrets and leave the Basilisk in there, I believe. But I'm not too sure, because I'm not really... Like, I am a Harry Potter fan. Like, I've seen all the movies, and I played all the games up until the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. I didn't play any of the LEGO ones. I played Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. But I guess, like, out of all the books, I've read The Philosopher's Stone. This was when I was in year 3, because we were reading it for a class. So, Philosopher's Stone, and I've half read Deathly Hallows. So... And a bit of Order of the Phoenix, so I guess, like, to all you people who've read all the books, I guess I'm not a true Harry Potter fan, but I do enjoy the world, and I would love to explore the lore of this game. Like, I would love to learn more about the creatures and everything, you know, just see what this place has to offer. So, you know, just let me know in the comments, do you think I'm a true Harry Potter fan, or just a Harry Potter fan, or, like, whatever. And also let me know if you're excited for this game. Now, this next one here is really a blast from the past for me, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. Now, I gotta say, not only am I also excited for this, I'm also a bit worried about it. Now, one of the things that I do like is the Dagger of Time, as you can see there, because in the first Prince of Persia, when we're introduced to the Dagger of Time, it's small. But then when Two Thrones comes along, we're using that as a main melee weapon, and it's actually grown. So I do like that they added that in the remake, that they made the Dagger of Time longer. So if they eventually, I assume they're gonna remake Warrior Finn and Two Thrones. So if they do end up remaking Two Thrones, the dagger will be the same length. So yeah, that really helps me out. But it wasn't a big issue. Like, I enjoy each of the games, and the second one, Warrior Within, that's really one of the few games where I don't mind the character having a different voice, because Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, Two Thrones, The Forgotten Sands, they all had the same voice actor. But Warrior Within had a different voice actor, which I assume was meant to be because of the game's darker tone. And speaking of voice actors, to me, the Prince, Farah, and the Vizier, they all sound different. Now, I don't know if that's just me, because I can remember the game in my head, but I haven't actually played it in ages. But, you know, when this game comes out, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm going to pre-order it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to pre-order it so I can get the original weapons set. And I guess, like, that's really all the good things I have to say. But moving on to the negative, the reason I'm worried about it is because it is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. And if you take a look at Resident Evil 2, that was a great remake, because I haven't played much of the Resident Evil games. If any of you have seen my YouTube channel, I tried playing Resident Evil 0. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and it was like so confusing. I had to keep looking up walkthroughs, and eventually I had to stop playing it because it was so confusing. But when Resident Evil 2, that remake came out, I watched the walkthroughs on it on YouTube, and everyone loved that remake. But when Resident Evil 3's remake happened, a lot of people didn't like that. The story was shorter, and Nemesis, I think it was, the boss battle with Nemesis wasn't good at all or something. I don't know. The only Resident Evil I finished is number 7. That was a great game. I knew what I was doing in there. I especially enjoyed the DLC, and I actually played it, finished the whole game in Japanese, because I did like it in Japanese. I thought that was better in Japanese than English, but that's just my opinion. And I just want to say this real quick: is it just me, or does the Prince look like Jake Gyllenhaal from the Prince of Persia movie? If any of you remember that. Because he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal to me. I'm not too sure if that's meant to be a reference to the movie, or if that's just my eyes playing tricks at me. But his face really does look like Jake Gyllenhaal. And speaking of Resident Evil, that's the next one on this list. Resident Evil 8 Village. But I gotta say, I think that's brilliant the way Village in Roman numerals spells 8. I think that's pretty cool. And I think it's pretty clever, and I do hope that that's actually the game's title and not just, like, you know, just a play on words. Like, it's, like, I assume that's the title, Resident Evil 8, like, not Resident Evil 8, sorry, I just want the game to be called Resident Evil Village, not Resident Evil 8 Village, because you have 8 in Roman numerals in the word village. That's pretty cool, pretty creative, and I gotta say, this village, it kind of reminds me of the one from Outlast 2. If any of you saw me play that game, I was shitting bricks and gnats. And none of you actually saw me play Resident Evil 7, but there were times I was shitting myself. And there were times I was like, okay, I want to quit, but at the same time, I don't want to quit because I'm enjoying the story so much. And I think, because I only played it once. And it's been a while since I played it, but I think that little girl, Emma, or whatever her name is, I think she's meant to be back somehow, because she was an old lady. She was that little girl, but these experiments turned her into an old lady. I'm sorry if I'm getting the lore mixed up, because I only played it once along with the DLC when that came out. So I apologize to all you hardcore Resi fans out there if I'm getting the lore wrong. But she was the old lady in the wheelchair. I did feel bad about her because all she wanted was a family. But you know, and plus, you know, like the fact that she was being experimented on. So you know, I hope maybe if she does make a return in this game, I hope I hope she gets a happy ending. I know that probably sounds silly and ridiculous, but you know, I don't know, I thought she was a great character, a tragic character, to be more precise. And plus also, who doesn't love werewolves? Looking forward to seeing those werewolves in this game. Now, last on this list is the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. Now, the funny thing is, I never actually played the PS4 Spider-Man game. I did watch walkthroughs on YouTube, for it was pretty great game, because all the Spider-Man games I played is Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 1 on Xbox, which gives you 2 extra missions with Kraven the Hunter, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3 on the PS2 and PS3, which is the same game, but there are completely different levels. I mean, if you look for a walkthrough for Spider-Man 2 and then 3, you can see the games they're similar, but they're also different. And Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which is and I gotta say, I'm so disappointed we did not get a sequel to that. Like, Web of Shadows is really one of my favorite Spider-Man games up there. Like, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite, followed by Web of Shadows, then Ultimate Spider-Man, where you get to play as Venom in that. It's pretty cool. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, those were great games I played. What was I gonna say? And I gotta say, what was I gonna say? God. yeah, what is the problem with these people? I don't know who they are. Like, they're these woke NPC Puritans or whoever they are. I don't know what the hell's going on, but they're saying this game needs to be more political, and how, oh no, you had a dead black cop, you gotta get political, which is like, so why would you do that? I mean, take a look at what happened to Last of Us 2. That went political, tried to go woke and push an agenda. It failed because that saying, get woke, go broke, that's not just like a saying, it's fact. Like, Supergirl season 6 is going to be the last season because it's been cancelled. And I guarantee you that Batgirl's going to be next, because these people aren't focused on making a great story. They're focused on just pushing an agenda, and I really hope that this game does not suffer from that. Spider-Man was a great game, it's the PS4 one, and this, while it's not exactly a sequel, at least in my opinion, it's not a sequel, it's more of a side story. So I do hope that this ends up spanning different games. I, for one, want a Spider-Gwen game. Spider-Gwen's one of my favorite characters. I read the comics, especially reading Spider-Ghost. That one's pretty cool. It's the Spider-Gwen comics, but it continues on. The only thing I did hate was when I was reading the comics, I had to get Spider-Verse and then a Miles Morales comic book, because, you know, when they do crossovers, it's difficult, you know. It does tell you in the book, no, you need to read this one to understand what happens. I did enjoy Matt Murdock as the Kingpin, though. He is a great Kingpin. I love it. And I just hope if they add, because I have no problem playing as a female character, but if you're going to push some woke agenda, then I won't play it. So, anyways, I'm getting off topic here. The thing I'm interested in with Miles Morales is his skill set. I'm looking forward to using camouflage. I'm looking forward to seeing how the spider sense works as well, because his spider sense is not like Peter's. Peter's warns him where his spider sense warns him of where the danger is, but with Miles' spider sense, it only warns him that there is danger near him. It doesn't give him a specific like predestination of where the danger is coming from. Yeah, so Miles is a character, like, and what's good about this is, I can actually just wait until we get an actual release date for this game, and then a week before the game comes out, I'll just play Spider-Man, all the DLC that comes with it, and just, then I won't have to wait to play this. So anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what games you're most excited for from the Spider-Man showcase. And if you want to, let me know about games that you aren't interested in. And I just want to bring this up real quick. That spider sense there where it warns Miles of where the danger was coming from. I gotta say, after seeing that, that's kind of different as well. It's like, because it's a different game, so, you know, when you have different characters, you can make characters the same, but add little things, you know, to change them. Like, that camouflage was pretty cool as well, but I'm pretty sure in the comics, Miles can only camouflage when he's on a surface, you know, and blends in with it, not just turn invisible, but that might be the suit, I'm not too sure. So anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.